to make pizza dough. You can't count yourself as a pizza gourmand until you have learned how to make pizza dough. While you can buy pizza dough frozen at the grocery, making your own from scratch is bound to be tastier. It's not that hard to do, even if you're new to the kitchen. Pizza dough requires yeast, so you will need to give it enough time to rise. Most pizza dough recipes tell you to let the dough rise for an hour or two, but this recipe has enough yeast to require not more than 5 minutes of rising time. Here are the steps. 1. To make a 15-inch pizza crust, prepare the following ingredients. 2½ cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of dry yeast, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of oil. Use olive oil for that authentic Italian flavor. ½ tablespoon of salt, and a cup of hot water. 2. The best flour to use for pizza dough is bread flour. The high gluten content makes it more stretchy, so that it's less likely to tear when you're tossing it. If you can't find any, though, all-purpose flour will have to do. You can use wheat flour instead of white flour if you prefer. Pizza dough made with wheat flour is a bit denser, as you would expect, but it's also good. 3. Mix all the dry ingredients together and add in the oil and water. Knead everything together for about 5 minutes. You can use an electric mixer with a dough hook, or just use your hands to work the dough over. A bread machine is ideal for this purpose, but not every kitchen has one. 4. Form the dough into a ball and let it rest for 5 minutes. This will allow it to rise. There are many recipes which say that you should let the dough rise for more than an hour. But with the amount of yeast used in this recipe, 5 minutes is enough. This is perfect for when you are in a hurry and cannot afford to wait for more than an hour. 5. On the other hand, if you have time, then you could give the dough an hour or 2. You will find that this improves the dough and makes it lighter when it's finally baked. Just cover the dough with a clean, damp towel or some plastic wrap to keep it from drying out and forming a crust on the outside. 6. After the dough rises, take it and roll it out with a rolling pin or pizza roller. Again, you can just use your hands if you have none of these appliances. You want the dough to be about a 1/4 inch thick all around. If you can spin the dough like the Italian chefs do, you will get the pizza to be a nice, rounded shape. 7. An optional step to making crispy pizza crust is pre-baking it before putting on the toppings, sauce, and cheese. After tossing the pizza into the desired thickness and size, lay it on the baking stone and bake for 3 to 4 minutes at 500 degrees. You can just skip this step, but if you are craving some very crispy pizza dough, this is how to make it. Once you have prepared the dough, all you need to do is assemble the pizza. Lay down the sauce first, then the cheese, and the toppings. As you are still learning how to make pizza dough, you can play around with the amount of time that you allow your dough to rise. Experts say that this results in subtle differences in the texture of the crust. Hopefully, you will be able to determine the ideal amount of rising time for your own version.